Welcome back, everybody, to the Tunnel Vision podcast. I'm your host, Michelle, and we are now on episode 19. And the title of today's episode is Start Your Day with God. We are now, guys, on episode 19. 19 episodes. Wow. I give all credit to God to say we've been here and it's number 19. And wow. But all praise to God. We're here. I'm enjoying the process. This has been so fun. I've learned so much. And I am excited to just make more of these for you all. And this, as you can tell, is a very much different flow. And I am liking just the recording, the little clips of my days and the little clips of my weeks, and just editing it together and putting it together for you all. And I've been enjoying it because I want you all to just have a more personal connection with me. Not to say that I won't ever go back and do occasional, sit down videos. I think I am going to allow myself that space to just kind of go back and forth. Maybe once a month I'll do sit down videos. Maybe every other month I'll alternate and switch from videos like this and sit down. We'll see how that goes. But, I'm definitely loving this flow. But I don't want to make myself feel like I have to choose one format. I want to have fun with this. And I definitely want to hear what y'all think. And if y'all have any comments or suggestions, I'm totally open to hearing it. So I hope you enjoy hearing me talk about today's message, but also seeing me just do little things in my day and seeing how my day develops. So start your day with God, right? How many times do we wake up and the first thing we do is snooze our alarms? I think that's almost every single person on the planet at this point. But let's take a minute to really think about how we start our days. How do you start your day? Is the first thing you do is grab your phone and you snooze it a few times? Are you finding yourself scrolling on social media the first thing you do when you wake up? I know some people love coffee. I myself love coffee, but I know there are really, coffee drinkers that is the one biggest thing that will help them get out of bed, which is the first thing they do is they go make themselves a delicious cup of coffee. Or is the first thing you do after you wash your face, brush your teeth, do you go work out, or do you just go back to sleep? Like, what is the first thing you instinctively do when the day is starting to begin, right? What is that thing that you rush to when you first wake up? Personally, I am unfortunately fallen victim into the snoozing alarms quite often, and I go back to sleep. And I've noticed that the first thing I do is, I'll grab my phone and then I'll scroll. I'll go onto Instagram, onto Facebook, and just see all these cute videos. And then before I notice, 30 minutes has passed, 40 minutes has passed. I can be like an hour scrolling and the time just goes by so fast. And then before I know it, I'm like, oh snap, an hour has gone by, 30 minutes has gone by. Now I need to get up. But then now I'm in a hurry. Now I'm trying to do my skincare and my cup of coffee and a workout and everything in this time frame that I just was scrolling on my phone. How many of you all do that? And I think we can admit it is not a very healthy habit and it's not a very productive one either. So myself, I have made a goal to start my day with God. And I want you to ask yourself, what is your goal way? What is your goal way to start your day with God, right? And something that I have been feeling in my heart is that, I want to be able to get up a little bit before my kiddo wakes up, right? Wake up before he does. And I want to do, brush my teeth, wash my face and all that, and then sit down and read the word first before anything, before I make coffee, before I go do a workout, before I do anything. I want to get in the word. Something I felt very convicted of lately, because before I would like rush myself and like try to do a workout or I want to enjoy a cup of coffee all before I did my Bible time. And the difference of the dynamic of the routines is huge. So something I've noticed, and I think a lot of us can relate, is if we start with God in the beginning of our day, if we start our day with God first, it sets the tone for the rest of the day, right? Well, anything, whatever we're choosing to start our day with is what will set the tone for the rest of the day. So something that I've been feeling convicted in is if I start my day, even if it's good things, going on a walk and making a cup of coffee and, having alone time, scrolling, watching a show, whatever, cleaning before my child wakes up, I still find myself irritated and, impatient and all that ugly feelings that I would have thought, I thought I would have felt better if I had gotten all these things done. But I still hadn't gotten in the word. And so then, because my kiddo's awake now, I'm trying to find pockets of time in my day to get in the word. And then I'm even more frustrated because I can't have that 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes of just Bible time that I wanted. And because I was more focused about making my cup of coffee first or scrolling for an hour on my phone before sitting down in the word. So that is my conviction. And I've noticed on the days that if I do get up before my kiddo and I get in the word first before anything, my day feels so much stronger. I feel more patient. I feel kinder. I feel more gentle. And something I've been telling myself is I can make time during the day to get a walk in, to do a little Pilates YouTube workout. I can make time for that. But starting the morning off with God is more important, because if I were to do the latter, if I were to do my walk and get my coffee and my binging show time before my child woke up, I'm still in a rush to try to do my Bible time during the day. So it's like I am choosing. Should I rather choose to have quiet time with the Lord in the morning and then walk and do a YouTube exercise, knowing that my kid will probably, call me over to him, play with him every million times, but I'm doing a workout, so it'll be more convenient, I guess? Or am I going to do it the other way, where I work out in the mornings and do all that in the mornings, but then when I want to sit down and read in the word, I can't even sit down and read the word because my child is asking me to play with him every 20 seconds. So I am in a position where I have to choose how I will start my day. And so my question for you all is, what will you let start your day? What are you going to choose to start your day? Are you going to choose to start your day in the word or in prayer, listening to a sermon, listening to worship music, just sitting outside and praying to the Lord? What is your goal to start the day? And as parents, we know that we have a long list of a million things that we need to do. And then even before our child wakes up and we see that we have all this extra time, we already start thinking of our to-do list. But we forget to sit down and get in the word. So it's like we're more concerned about our to-do list the moment we wake up, rather than spending quality time with the Lord. We forget, and then we end up trying to do it during the day when the day has already started and our day is chaotic and our kids need attention, and then we get frustrated because we wanted that alone time with the Lord, but then we waited until the day woke up instead of doing it before the day woke up, before our kids woke up. And so next question I want to ask you all is, what does this ideal day look like for you? What does this ideal day look like for you? This ideal start of the morning of you all? Do you want to wake up and go on a walk while listening to a sermon? Do you want to go outside and have a cup of coffee and read Bibles outside in nature? What would you like to start your morning with? How would you like to incorporate God into your mornings before the day technically starts, right? Is it like mine where I want to wake up and, brush my teeth, wash my face, but then before I walk, before I make coffee, before I do anything, I sit down and I read the word? Or, like I mentioned, is it going outside in nature, walk, kind of, the habit stacking, walking and listening to a sermon, or drinking coffee while reading your Bible? What is something you want to do in your ideal morning? You want to journal. What does this ideal morning with God look like for you? And then the next challenging question is, what is getting in the way of that ideal morning or start of the day? So I will share myself for disclosure and transparency. What was getting in the way was this habit of getting on my phone and scrolling. That was my biggest, ugliest habit. And so I would get on my phone and I would press the snooze button and then get on Instagram. Knowing the Instagram and the blue light or whatever they call it would wake me up, but then I would get so stuck on it, and then before I know it, an hour has passed by, 30 minutes has passed by, and I wasn't productive at all. And so I knew that I had to let go of that unhealthy habit. I had to replace it. And so what I've noticed lately, I'll wake up and I grab my phone, and then I have this inkling of, I want to get on Instagram. And then I immediately feel from the spirit like, no, you told yourself that you were not going to get on social media until you got Bible time. And when I felt that, now I can't unfeel it. Now that I have that awareness, now that the Spirit revealed that conviction to me, it is so hard now to get on my phone in the mornings and not feel so guilty about it. And so I guess in some way that motivates me too. But that was a really big habit that was keeping me from having this morning with God. And so I'm still in a work in progress. It's one habit at a time. It's one day at a time. That's my message to myself as much as to you all. And so my ideal morning was to wake up and, get up and brush my teeth and all that and sit in the Word before I do anything else. And I kind of saw my cup of coffee and saw scrolling on social media as a reward for sitting down and getting into the Word first. And so maybe that would help you. What is a reward that'll get you excited to just spend time in the Word, not rush it, take your time in the Word and enjoy the Word, enjoy God's presence, but giving yourself this reward or gift of just this pat in the back for holding off on these worldly satisfaction. English is hard. You know what word I'm saying. Just having these little worldly habits temporarily satisfying us over the eternal peace that God could give us, and allowing and choosing to start our day with His eternal peace rather than these temporary feelings. So again, what is getting in the way of this ideal morning for you? So for me, was definitely the phone scrolling. I couldn't let go of it. And also I had a really big habit of going to bed late. I really did. So what are some habits or some things that are keeping you from having this morning time with God, right? Is it going to bed late like me? Right? Is it a work schedule? Is it homework? Is it work? Is it just mom life? I know there's so many millions of things that can keep us from having the ideal morning. And you know what? Let me just sit here and say that an ideal morning is not going to happen every day. There are going to be days that you're going to be tired. There are going to be days that your kid wakes up earlier than expected. There are going to be days that you don't feel like it. But it's in those days that, okay, even if you did not get the chance to get in the Bible like you wanted to, because, for example, this day that you're watching me, I didn't get the chance to sit and read the word before I started my day, before I had to load up everything and get in the car and go into town. I didn't get to, but I did bring my books with me. I brought them with me because I knew that when I had the opportunity, I was going to sit down and I was going to have time with the Lord. Even though it may have been a little bit disruptive, that doesn't mean I shouldn't do it at all. And so when we look at things like, okay, what is getting in the way of this ideal morning? What can be substituted with any of those habits? For example, for me, getting on my phone, right? Going to bed late. There are things that the Lord was revealing to me that I needed to adjust, right? So I needed to adjust and replace some of my toxic habits. So I recognized that I needed to go to bed a little bit earlier every night, a little bit earlier. And it's not just me, but also my son. And in the morning, the moment I grab my phone and I ask the Spirit for his help, because I can't do this, by myself at all. But I would ask the Spirit, remind me, please. Like the moment I get my phone, remind me like, hey, you can't get on Instagram yet. You haven't spent time in the Word yet. And when I feel that, it in some way like wakes me up too. And so what are some substituted habits that could help you get your day started with the Lord? Is it waking up earlier? Is it going to bed earlier? Is it not snoozing your alarm 50 times before you actually get up? When we are discovering what is keeping us from having this alone time or, ideal morning that we would like to establish, let's ask the Lord for help. Let's let him tell us where we need to grow and how our character can grow and what are the things that we need to let go of. And focus our eyes not just on the little habits, but focus on how he can help us establish a morning that will strengthen our relationship with him. Not the way we want to do it, but the way he's guiding us to do it. So when, again, thinking of just what is getting in the way of this ideal morning, right? We can say that the list is endless. But no matter the reason, we really have to just sit and think and remind ourselves and really dive deeper into what starting our day means with God. What starting the day with God means to us. How important is it for you to start the day with God? Because when we evaluate our priorities and understand that spending time with God is the most important thing, then that itself alone will remind us and remotivate us to keep going and to keep trying. So my question is, what does starting the day with God mean to you? How important is this for you? And if you say that it's super important, great. It should be. But don't just say, oh yeah, it's important, but then not act on it. Don't just say, oh yeah, it's important, but then you don't do anything about it. You sit stagnant and you don't allow the Spirit to correct you. You don't allow the Spirit to convict you and to poke you and prompt you of the areas that you need to change. And then even more so, the areas that you need to change, but then you don't. I mean, I'm calling myself out here because there have been moments where, I scroll on my phone and I know I'm not supposed to. I know that I want to spend time in the Word and I still do it. So we're all sinners. We're all falling short. And the good news is God gives us His mercy. God is patient with us. God knows that this is hard. God sees us trying every day. And the most important thing is that we just don't stop trying. We don't stop asking for help. Let's continue asking Him for help. I want to read the first piece of scripture that I felt was very important for this topic, and it is Psalm 118, verse 24. It is, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad in it." Wow. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad in it. Every day that we are blessed on this earth is a day that God has made for us, a day that He has made with purpose. Let us be glad and excited for the day, even if it's days that are just so heavy with work and overstimulation as mothers, as parents, and just the endless list of to-dos and bills that we have to pay. This day has a purpose. God made this day for a purpose that would bring you one step closer to the purposes and the goals and the plans that He has for you. And so even if you're in the season where you're thinking, man, when am I going to get there? When am I going to feel this peace that everybody's talking about? When am I going to feel like I can breathe? You can breathe today. And that's just as much message for you all it is for me. Every single one of us, we're going through a season of who knows what. And the important thing is that we can choose how we can look at our day. We can choose to look at our day at all the ugliness that happened in our day, which were most likely just moments. Not all the time. Sometimes things really do happen and we really have really sad, heavy days. And I know those happen. But in regards to the days where we are making small inconveniences, small, ugly moments seem bigger than they actually are, we're robbed of the joy that God's giving us for that day. So in the day that this is the day that the Lord has made, let us be glad in it. And so even in the days where there's just these small inconveniences, like for example, my kiddo, he's 4, meltdowns and constantly having to get on my knees and on eye level with him and talk to him, negotiate with him. The Lord has revealed to me that those are just moments of my day. Those are not my day entirely. And we can have a choice to look at the day with the purpose that God has for us, even though we have no idea what purpose it may hold or may have. But we know that this is the day the Lord has made. The day, every day that you are alive, the Lord made it. The Lord made it knowing that it was going to serve a purpose. A day is not wasted. It is a day that you can grow to be more spiritually mature, a day that you learn more lessons, a day that you build wisdom, a day you get closer to the Lord, a day that you're reminded of just how important your marriage is and how important quality time is with your kiddos, a day that you appreciate the little moments. Each day that we're alive on this earth is a gift, and we have the ability and the just permission to enjoy it because God said so. And so if you've determined that it is very important for you to start the day in the Word and start the day with the Lord, then what is one thing you want to do to help you establish that stronger start of the day with the Lord? Let's choose one thing. We'll start with one thing to help us get to the stronger, ideal morning we want with the Lord. And so, for example, my one thing, my action step, something that I feel that the Lord's telling me to do, is to not scroll right when I wake up, and only making coffee and doing my daily exercise and cleaning, anything to not do it until I pray and I read the Bible, until I spend time in the Word. That is my personal action step, and I give that to you all so you all know a little bit of just what the Lord has been growing in my heart. And also just for some inspiration, like please take whatever I give you with a grain of salt. But if something I say inspires you to kind of do the same thing, please take it. I know that there are millions of different ways to start your morning. And if there's something that I particularly do that you like and you want to maybe try practicing, then go ahead. I'm excited for you to be able to, stop scrolling the moment you wake up, to make yourself wait to make a cup of coffee until after you spend time in the Word. Because we know that coffee will be there. And we know that it's going to be okay. We're not going to go crazy. I mean, maybe, I'm just kidding. If we don't have a cup of coffee. But spending time in the Word is so much more important because it sets the right tone for the rest of the day. But again, even if you did not get to, know that every morning is not going to be an ideal morning, and that is okay. Allow yourself to have grace for those days, but don't stop. So what is your action step? What is something you want to do to help you have a stronger start of your day? Is it going to bed earlier? Is it waiting to get coffee until after you read the Bible like me? Is it going on a walk and listen to a sermon? That habit stacking before your day actually starts. Like, what is something that you want to implement to help you start the day with the Lord, but with this also excitement of just what the day is going to bring? What is what you can do that's possible and simple that will help you start the day? Let's not think of huge goals, huge life-changing things. Just one simple thing. For me, no scrolling the moment I wake up. And with that, it'll lead to no coffee until after I read my Bible. And that is already helping me with small little steps to success. But again, I have to remember, and so do you, to allow ourselves to feel God's grace when a morning doesn't happen the way we want it to. Because not every day is meant to be the same, my friends. And I pray that God leads you in His path and shows you how you can start your day off with Him. I urge you all to ask the Lord, how do you want me to start my day with you? How can I strengthen my relationship with you our way? Me and you, Lord. Not me and somebody else, not God and somebody else, me and God, you and God. This is an intimate, personal relationship between you two. So how y'all start the day is going to be different than how I start the day with Him. And that's okay. So ask the Lord for His discernment. Ask for His wisdom. Ask for His prompting and His clear eyes on how y'all should start the day together, however it may look like. And I'll close with this last verse from Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 through 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. So even if a day doesn't go the way we want it to, even if our ideal morning doesn't happen after 2 weeks, the important thing is that you keep trying. You keep asking God for His discernment, His strength, His perseverance. And if you didn't succeed the goal or action steps for the day, you can try again tomorrow, because every day is a day that the Lord has made, and we can be glad in it. We can be glad in it. We can look forward to it and be excited for it. And God's compassions, His mercy, His love, it is new every single day, every morning. His faithfulness, His love is new every day. And we can hold on to that truth. We can be excited. We can hold on to just that excitement and motivation of just what the day will bring. And however you start your day with God, it's going to be beautiful. However you and the Lord start the day, it's going to be beautiful and special because that's between you and Him. The only important thing that I urge you all is to just do it. Just take the next small step. But also remember that you're not alone. You're never going to be alone. And God's mercy is new every day. His compassions are new every day. So even if you feel discouraged, even if you feel irritable and just frustrated that you can't get it right, know that God says, it's okay, my darling. You can try again tomorrow.